The Maravich Center last night. What an environment, first and foremost. And I talked to Willie a little bit today, talked to Will Wade. He'll be here tomorrow. And I told Wade before we get into, just kind of asking him about the game, his thoughts about last night, I just said, man, let me just tell you how cool it is what you have accomplished at LSU basketball, with LSU basketball in 5 years here. That environment last night, that environment earlier this week versus Kentucky, some of the environments that we've seen for Wade and the crew throughout this LSU basketball run have been phenomenal. I think that they're here to stay. A lot what we talked about with Mulkey, and shout out to Mulkey. They ran, they bludgeoned another SEC opponent today as they are on fire, the women, LSU women's basketball under Kim Mulkey. We'll talk about the Mulkey effect coming up here. But for Wade and the crew, as Mulkey beat up on Auburn today, 76-48 on the road. I mean, just beat the hell out of them on the road. And we'll tell you about that. But Wade, back to Wade and what he has accomplished with LSU basketball in his 5 years. Sure, all the numbers, all the draft picks, all of the accomplishments we are able to see. But I thought that last night was a true testimony of just where the LSU basketball program is present day moving forward. If nothing else, Will Wade and his staff, his players, his program has had the faith and the belief restored in the product that they put on the floor every night. Earlier this week, I said that Kim Mulkey, in just 15 games as LSU women's head basketball coach, had brought back a feeling and created a culture that it doesn't matter who they play. Like, it doesn't matter who the women are playing. People are going to support whatever they're doing because of what Mulkey is selling and putting on the floor. Wade has gotten that with LSU basketball. Taken a little longer than it did with Mulkey. And they were coming from a different place and a different time period, was Wade and his crew when they took over. And I know that we probably could have had this discussion a couple of times over the last couple of years, but now it feels like it's here. It feels like it's a program that is supported every night. No matter who shows up to the arena, you could take the brand to Bossier City, or you could be at home versus Kentucky, or you could be at home versus Tennessee, or you could be at home versus Lipscomb. People are going to be there. There is a buzz around LSU basketball with Will Wade and what they're accomplishing that is just contagious right now. It's awesome. The city's a better place when LSU basketball is competitive. Baton Rouge is a cooler town when LSU basketball means something from a national landscape, right? And I thought that Wade, it was fair last night for Wade to call out the facilities. I mean, have you heard this? Did you see this? After the game last night, Wade takes down Tennessee. And Tennessee is a program that, if you do your homework, the two programs that LSU has played this past week and beaten, Kentucky and Tennessee. Look up at the facilities on Tennessee's campus for basketball. We all know about Kentucky, right? Kentucky is the Alabama football of basketball, right? They have the best facilities. They have the best resources. They have the most boosters. They got the people that are paying attention the most and want to contribute to what's happening to Kentucky basketball by the pages. Calipari can just keep flipping through a Rolodex of people that want to help, want to pay, want to give cash, want to give time. Their facilities is best in the country, not just in the conference. Tennessee's is at the top of the conference. LSU beat those two programs this week. Not this year. This week, they beat those two teams. Really and truly, handled them. And their practice facility is leaking water. Legitimately. Like Wade said it last night. When it rains hard, like it's doing right now in South Louisiana, the new DL is probably, as a crow flies, it's probably 50 seconds, a minute to LSU's practice facility as a crow flies. I mean, it's right there. It's storming at the new DL right now. So it's coming down on the practice facility on LSU's campus. As Wade described it last night, that means they're taking on water to half of the court. That they've had to push trash cans and towels along the floor if they want to practice full court. This is a top 20 team in the country. This is a top 20 program in the country right now. I mentioned the two programs that they beat this week in Kentucky and Tennessee, two of the best facilities in the conference. You're not even asking for Kentucky and Tennessee standards around here. They're asking for what they went and saw in Auburn a week and a half ago when they took their first loss of the season on the chin in a brand new arena, in a place that's supporting their basketball program, and look up, and Bruce Pearl and Auburn could be a Final Four team this year. Last week when the weather changed and it got cold in South Louisiana, when LSU crossed the street from the practice facility to go to the weight room, they had to throw their sweats on. They had to make sure that they were protected in walking across the street from getting to the practice facility to get to the weight room. Oh, Jordy, tell them to suck it up. Hey, man, they're not doing that at Mississippi State. They're not doing that at Ole Miss. They're not doing that at Georgia and Florida. But they have to do it at LSU? And they're a top 20 program? And they're beating Kentucky and Tennessee in the same week? And the floor's getting water on it from the ceiling? See how long down the list the restoration of the Maravich Center is right now because of the things that you have to take care of in front of that for LSU basketball? And look, man, I'm not raining down on the administration because I think that they are supportive. And I know that they've been busy. And I know that they've got stuff going on. But now's the time. Now's the time to support this basketball program, pay the head coach, extend him, give him more time on this campus, because look at last night. Look at that environment. Look at that place. Look at the style of ball that they're playing on the floor. Look what it's doing. Look at the buzz that it's creating. It's here, man. That was a hard sellout. It's going to be a hard sellout at 1 o'clock versus Arkansas on Saturday, the next time they play here. Because that's the program that has been created. I mean, Dale Brown was in the stands last night. Saw him sitting right next to Jim Inkster, sitting down and looking at his court. Had to be a cool, proud moment for Dale Brown. It feels like those days again. For those of you who are that age, who grew up, I was a kid during that time going to the Maravich Center. I didn't know anything else. The football program was terrible. Curly Hallman had it in more disarray than it was functionable. And Dale Brown was putting pros into the league every year. Guys that you were falling in love with as a kid. Chris Jackson, Verdell Singleton, Shaquille O'Neal, Stanley Roberts, Ricky Bland, all these guys. It feels like that again. My kid was there last night, two of his buddies. They ran around the Maravich Center for 40 minutes, screaming, yelling, going crazy on Tari Eason's dunk, going wild on block shot. I mean, they were jumping. It looked like I was a kid again. I felt I could relate so much to my kid's experience last night, just loving it and falling in love with the people on the floor. I mean, they speak about Tari Eason like I spoke about Shaquille O'Neal, right? And I'm sure you are experiencing the same thing. The 13,000 of you that were there last night saw kids running wild. It was a fantastic scene. Like, I mean, that is, I saw Stephanie Remph walking around the corridor last night in the Maravich Center. She had a smile on her face, ear to ear, grinning. I mean, like just pearly white, shining in the lights, man. I mean, just looking around at all of this support that her basketball program has. Now's the time, from the executives to the basketball program, to show the love, man. I mean, it's here. Get a practice facility that doesn't leak water. Get a weight room and a coach's office in that same practice facility like the competition has. Get to the discussion. Forget the studies of restoring the Maravich Center. There's enough studies that have been done. The people will show up when you have a winner. You have a winner, Build them something that they can show up to that respects what's on the floor.